Hey gang, time for another unboxing video, and actually this time out we are working on the box that we shot in the last video. Well, we didn't actually shoot it, although we have seen in some of these unboxings, we have seen comic books that people shot with BB guns and other things. But no, this is the second half of a box that we opened in the last video that we broke into, and I got a little chatty and the video was running along, so we cut it, and we are going to pick up right where we left off. So if you like comic books, if you like old comics from the 1950s, then stick around. We're going to have some fun. Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghai. My name is Duke, and this is an unboxing video. And yeah, like, share, subscribe, do all the groovy things. Let's not waste any time, because I wasted a lot of time in the last video just running off at the mouth. I had diarrhea of the mouth in the last video. And let's just jump right into it this time out. And the story, I will tell you in case you missed that last video, quickly the story. We bought these books from a little old lady in Idaho who had them. A neighbor told him they weren't worth anything. She put them in a yard sale, and he came over and bought them all. So that kind of sent off her intuition, and luckily she'd already had a little twinge that maybe things weren't right, and she held back some of the books, and so we bought them, offered her 5 figures actually for these books, so she did pretty well. And yeah, and we saw last time out that I showed you a little video of the big book that was in the box, which was a showcase number 4. And then in about a half dozen of the other books, well, not half dozen, 6, 8, 10, 12, maybe a full dozen, those went to CGC. But the rest are being sold raw on eBay, and that's what brings them here on my desk for me to grade. So, Captain Marvel Adventures number 141, that's getting towards the end of the series. And I speculated last time out, this is, you know, a little incongruous. It doesn't quite track with the story of the little old lady, but I suspect what happened here, and I don't know this, I'll have to ask, but I think that probably after she contacted us, Ashley, who does all the negotiating, probably, you know, gave her some information, how to look up the values of the different things to determine for herself if our offer was fair. So, and a lot of these have tags on them. They have this, I couldn't tell if it was not or mott, but I think it's hot. So, and this one's not hot, Western Roundup, and I mean, this one will be maybe like a $20 or $30 book, but still, you know, that's a good fun book to get. Tex Ritter, oh wow! So I guess I'm going to get chatty in this video as well, and I apologize. I'm probably telling a lot of you things you already know, but John Ritter, you may know from you know, Three's Company. I don't know if did they even play reruns of Three's Company anywhere anymore. But you know, come and knock on my door. Ba -da 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 -da. Sorry, I should not be singing. I once lived with a girl who was an aspiring opera singer, and I was expressly forbidden to sing in the house. It would literally make her ears bleed. Like, not even the shower could I sing. But anyway, John Ritter from Three's Company, his father was a cowboy movie star, Tex Ritter. So, if you're a fan of John Ritter, you might like Tex Ritter. Anyway, Leading Comics, that's a DC book with, is that Peter Porkchops? I don't know who that is. Well, yeah, of course it is. Duh, right there. Duh. Duh, and I don't know who the wolf is, but I'm not going to look it up. Here is another issue of Daredevil. We spoke about this in the last video, how these guys, the Little Wise Guys, took over Daredevil's book bit by bit, and by this point they had pushed him out completely. This is the original Golden Age Daredevil, not the Marvel character. Marvel actually, by the time Stan Lee, well, not by the time Stan Lee came along, because he dated back to the very early Golden Age, but by the time the Marvel Universe came along, all of this was gone, and the trademarks and the copyrights had lapsed, and Stan kind of jumped on that name for a new character because it was available. Real Screen Comics, Fox and the Crow, number 88. Oh, cool. Another Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis. This is number 31. And so that is typical Dean and Jerry hijinks. Tales of the Mysterious Traveler, number 1. Wow. By Dick Giordano. And that's a Charlton comic. Here's an early Marvel Atlas book. Looks like a Joe Manley cover. Western Outlaws number 14. Charlton book, Robin Hood and His Merry Men, number 30. Kind of an odd way to swing a sword, but okay, whatever. LASH LARUE. Now, here's another stamp. So we have seen stamps that have said Northwest and ones that have said Spokane. And this one says Alder. And I believe these are arrival date stamps. You know, the store would stamp on the book when they got it and or when they wanted to pull it off the stands so that they knew when to take it off, when it had sat there long enough. And so, yeah, that's interesting. And assuming that all of these books come from the Idaho area where this lady had them, there were at least 3 different stamps in this collection. But anyway, LASH LARUE was a cowboy hero that you don't hear much of anymore. And LASH LARUE's big thing was the bullwhip. So, set those aside, dig into the next stack. And speaking of cowboy heroes, there's a little Roy Rogers for you. I don't know what issue number that is. I'm not going to open up the bag just yet. I'll have to when I grade these up, but you can look it up yourself based on that cover, what issue number it is. Well, looks like Bugs isn't too afraid of that dog. He took care of it. He's acting as a Fuller Brush salesman. If you're trying to figure out what the hell he's doing, ringing a doorbell, holding a bunch of brushes, he is obviously, this was a thing, door-to-door salesman, which you don't see much of anymore at all. But the brush salesman was the big thing. And I have no idea what issue number this is, but that's Looney Tunes and Merrie Melodies comics. Here's a Popeye book. Spine's a little ragged, but... And see, this one says Spokane. Wilbur. So Wilbur was... And look at this. Now, Wilbur was not just somebody who was kind of in the Archie universe. He was deep in the Archie universe. Because that looks very much like Betty and Veronica. I mean, early pre-ponytail. Not bonytail. Although ponytails are hot. A ponytail gives me a bony. But be that as it may, and that looks like a very early Miss Grundy. But and if you heard that, that was my ringtone. Little Rita Moreno Electric Company for you. So my phone is sitting here on the desk next to me, and I'm just going to let it ring. Captain Marvel Adventures number 149. That's getting very near the end of the run with Mr. Takitani. Captain Marvel Jr. number 103. The world's mightiest boy. Well, I think Superboy would have something to say about that. The Man with the Zero Eyes. Oh, wow. Superman has cold vision instead of heat. That's crazy. Number 117. Ooh, the 3 substitute Superman. I don't think this is the actual Lieutenant Superman. There were Lieutenant Marvels, and were they called Lieutenant Superman? This was during the era when Captain Marvel was outselling Superman, and there were a few areas in which DC was like, well, if you can't beat him, join him. And so, since Captain Marvel had the 3 Lieutenants Marvels, DC tried these substitute Supermen. And I think this is before Kandor, so I don't think these are Kandorians. Oh, no. They're an experiment. Each of these 3 men will have superpowers for 48 hours. Interesting. Interesting. Superman's billion-dollar debt. Well, $1 billion was a lot of money back in 1957. I mean, that was like real money. Plastic Man. Wow. Huh. And it's 1955. And so Plastic Man was published by Quality Comics and was published right up until the end of Quality Comics. Quality Comics in 1956 went out of business, sold out to DC, and DC continued just 4 titles. BLACKHAWK, Robin Hood Tales, there was a romance book, the title of which I'm forgetting at the moment, and then GI Combat. And they didn't continue Plastic Man, and that's probably because Jack Cole had, I think he'd already died at this point, or suicide. Spoiler warning, if you don't know. And the Plastic Man books, they weren't original stories. They were all reprints. But it's just kind of interesting that, to me it's interesting anyway, that had DC chosen to continue the Plastic Man title as well as those other 4, had decided to assign somebody to the book, which they would have. It wasn't like the other books that they could just pick up and they already had, art teams, going. Although the romance book, I wish I could remember the title. The romance book, it was a couple of months before it picked up with DC, and when it did, it didn't bear a lot of resemblance other than the title to the book it had been at Quality. It looked a lot more like the typical DC romance book of the era. But anyway, had DC chosen to continue Plastic Man, again, it's 1955, and, the changeover was in 56. Well, that's right about when the Barry Allen version of The Flash comes about. And so you could have had Plastic Man right there along the other Silver Age DC heroes. Could have been a founding member of the Justice League. And, I have seen it said, I've seen the quote, although I can't remember where Julius Schwartz has said that he developed Elongated Man. He didn't know that DC owned Plastic Man. And so, I mean, had he had, that would have been another opportunity to reuse Plastic Man. Because he appeared in Police Comics originally, and so he certainly would have been a natural for Detective Comics, which is where Elongated Man ended up for a long time. So that was, anyway, that was 56, and this one is 54. That's Woozy Winks, that character right there. Here's an EC book. I'm not sure if that's, oh no, I was going to say, is that Al Williamson? And no, you can see the signature here. It's Joe Orlando. So number 19. Here's a Superboy, number 49. Metallo of Krypton. I don't think that's the Kryptonite Heart Metallo, but that might be an early use of the Metallo name. And here's Lana Lang, being Lana Lang, a trap for Superboy. Number 45. 45. All right, let's keep on trucking. Superman. Lois Lane's gonna be a policewoman. It's crazy. Ladies can't be cops. Actually, 1953, I think. Were there? Yeah, I think there might have been. But I think there had been lady cops earlier, and they did actually carry purses at the time. That is not artistic license. They did carry purses. Okay, so imagine my brother is Superboy. Oh my goodness. Gloria. Who the hell's Gloria? Gloria. Gloria. And she kind of looks like Lana Lang, frankly. That was number 62. This, what is this? Number 60. Okay. Just reminding me of the cover to Superboy number 98. well, the first appearance of Ultra Boy, where they're kind of using their X-ray vision to see each other's costumes underneath their sweaters and shirts. The $100,000 Quiz Kid. Huh. Looks a lot like Pete Ross, doesn't he? The one-man baseball team. Well, I guess. Kind of a small baseball diamond, but whatever. 57. And number 51. The Super Money of Smallville. And we're back to some Blackhawks a little earlier. This is number 99. Number 90. The Villainess Who Smashed the Blackhawks. Huh. I wonder if she's Russian? I bet she is. Thunder the Indestructible. Ba, ba, ba. Number 88. The Red Executioner. 66. Can you name all of the Blackhawks? Boy, that's unfortunate. Look at that. That caricature on Chop Chop. Wow. Oh, maybe eBay won't even let us sell this. They'll call it anti-Asian hate. But anyway, can you name all of the Blackhawks? There's Blackhawk himself. Jonas Prushka? I can't remember his actual name. And then you had, I believe that's Olaf, and Hendrickson, and Andre, and Chuck, and Stanislaus. So Olaf, I think, was from Sweden, and I think Blackhawk was a Pole, maybe? Hendrickson, don't remember where he was from. Was he English? Andre was French, Chuck was American, and Stanislaus was something Eastern European. The Midget Menace from Outer Space. Superman number 102. Huh. Superman number 105. Superman Slave. Battling a giant bug in number 110. This is the same guy from the Covered Action Comics number 1. He did a lot of cameos. He was one of those walk-on parts. He actually also was he played a dead body on CSI. Don't know if you knew that. That's a true story. Number 111, Misto. Now, which is interesting because there actually was, I think, in Detective Comics for a long time, through a lot of the Golden Age, there was a Misto the Magic Detective. I think I'm remembering that correctly. But I don't believe that's meant to be the same person. Here's another Superboy. And number 27. And Superboy kind of missed his chance because this guy was heading off to Oz right after this. Oh, look, a free strawberry soda with the strawberry soda fountain right kind of in the middle of nowhere. Thaddeus Lang, genius. I'm guessing he's related to Lana. Oh, here's another EC book. Weird Science 17. Ray Bradbury. Captain Midnight. Now, do you know who Captain Midnight was? He was him. He was an aviator. He was like a genius aviator. And actually, there was a Captain Midnight revival not that long ago by, who was it? IDW? Boom? Somebody. But anyway, it's number 64. That's a FAWCETT comic. The Avenger. Magazine Enterprises. And I think there was the Avenger TV series, but I don't think that this isn't this from that. This is something different. Very expressive anatomy there. Ooh, coverless. And it looks like it's more than just coverless. It looks like it's also missing at least one page. So good luck to me figuring out what issue that is. There's another stack. A Charlton book, Mysteries of Unexplored Worlds. #1. Wow, so we've had a couple of #1 Charltons in this box. I think the other one was in the last video. I Love Lucy. My goodness. Is that #1? It's got kind of a one-ish feel to it. I think this one I will take out of the bag. There's no tape here. Let's take a look. It's #10. So it wasn't even close. I Love Lucy, guest star. Who's the guest star? You think it would say. Ray Raynor? Was she a real person? I have no idea. That character looks quite a bit like Lucy, actually. It's amazing how, a good artist, how they can capture somebody's likeness in really just a few lines. Here's some Lone Ranger. Here's some more Lone Ranger. Here's some more Lone Ranger. The Return of Dan Reed. I thought the Lone Ranger was Dan Reed. Or was he Brett Reed? No, Brett Reed was his descendant or his brother's descendant who became the Green Hornet. Mutt and Jeff, a DC book, #73, based on the comic strip. Ahoy there, is this the Atlantic Ocean? No, it's the Pacific. See, I said you were rowing too fast. That's funny stuff. Jungle Jim. And this is actually a 4-color book, #565. And we are now at the end of this box. The little old lady from Idaho, not from Pasadena, but from Idaho. This is the last of the wholesome goodness with which she has provided us. Wild Western, Kid Colt, #43, a Marvel Atlas book. Woody Woodpecker, #23, again, kind of early. A Charlton book, Space Adventures Presents Rocky Jones. Dick Giordano, not sure. It's looking very John Fordish, kind of. I don't know this inker. D'Agostino? Do you know who that is? Huh. Rocky Jones, Space Ranger. Super Mouse, the big cheese from Standard Comics, aka Better Publications, aka NEDOR Publications, #20. And like everybody had a Super Mouse, and I don't think they were all the same mouse jumping publishers. I think everybody had their own version. Mickey Mouse, #50. 50. I don't know that I would write hot on a $6 book, but although that I would think that's worth more than $6, but we'll see how it does. Here's another Gabby Hayes. The last one had a photo cover, but at this point, by #59, we're like, you know what? Photo covers are expensive. These arrows are kind of defying the laws of physics. See how it's got kind of a knuckleball curve to it. And they're coming from different areas. It's not the same person. He's got a whole army of engines after him. And the last book in the box is Mystery in Space, #31, The Day the Earth Split in Two. Oh, there's our destination, Earth, but one half has been sliced away as though by some giant blade. Some nice artwork. I do like that. Well, anyway, I hope you had some fun looking at those books and listening to my boring stories. We'll do it again. So please do come back for more if you had a taste, if you didn't get enough with this video. And until then, goodbye, good luck, and please be good to each other.